is, I asked him about getting credits and for intervening, at least in the sector. And we know that the sugar subsector actually got a 2 billion naira intervention fund. And so what I'm asking is this fund enough? It's an intervention fund. It's a start. It's a seed capital, so to speak. But is it enough? Or should we see more funds being put into the sector, especially in terms of where we want to see that subsector get to in the short to medium term?
Well, thank you very much. But you please allow me some bit of time to address one of the two issues raised by Mr. Elliott as well as Mr. Okonobi. First, the issue of getting land is one thing. You can come back in 2 to 3 years' time and still find that the land is still there. That is not going to happen, and that is the beauty of the new NIRP. First, for the refineries, at least in the sugar industry, the raw sugar they get to import is benchmarked on the progress they make in the BIP, in their BIP projects. In other words, if you are not able to follow the timelines and the benchmarks that you have set for yourself in the development of a BIP, you are not going to get raw sugar to process in your refineries. So that's the kind of stick and carrot approach that we have given. Besides that one are also the incentives. Now, to be able to follow up through your, your development of your BIP, all the machineries that you import, both for field production as well as for the factory, you are going to bring them in at zero duty. So all these are the ones that will drive and ensure that the BIP actually works. So, and we are now waiting until 2 to 3 years' time to go back and see what happens to the land. I told you on a quarterly basis, there are two major organs that are monitoring progress on the BIP. So the structures is in place and it is working. Now, let me come to Mr. Elliott about the need for the roadmap for achieving the revolution. Yes, of course, the roadmap is there. And how has the NRP addressed this? First, it has identified key sectors where Nigeria has, comparative and competitive advantages, where it can easily dominate. And it has come up with sectoral policies that will drive the implementation of such sectoral development, such as the NSMP for sugar, such as the automotive policy for the auto industry. And it's coming up with more, like on textile and the like. Then it has also identified cross-cutting issues, the ones that affect competitiveness in Nigerian industrial landscape, such as finance, such as the industrial skills that Mr. Elliott talked about. Now, the ITF, the major agency for industrial skill acquisition, is being completely restructured such that it is able to provide Nigerians with industrial skills that we need at various stages of the industrial development. So
Dr.
it is a holistic thing, just like Mr. Okonobi said.
Sorry to interrupt you here. Yeah. Let's quickly talk about the intervention funds. We're clearly out of time. We have less than a minute to wrap up the show. So let's quickly talk about the intervention fund. We most likely will have you back on the program again to talk more about it. But just give us a summary. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's like you said, it's an intervention fund. This particular one we signed with the Bank of Agric is a 2 billion pool of fund specifically for agricultural production as well as to address farm infrastructural needs. What the industry needs is much, much more than that. But I want to see, this is just to demonstrate government's commitment to put its money where its mouth is. Already know that we know that this, all this industrial thing will be financed mainly by the private sector. But the government wants to show commitment to show that not only has it come up with the enabling environment, not only has it come up with the policies that would drive the revolution, but also that it's also willing to put down some bit of funds for players in the sector to access cheap funds to be able to do their agricultural production as well as address some farm infrastructure. Someone earlier talked about, I think it was even you, that you talked about the issue of floods. They need dikes, they need flood protection, structures so that you do not have the kind of floods we have in 2012 coming to wipe away all they have planted.
Well,
so
thank you so much, Dr. Busari, for sharing your thoughts with us. We're clearly out of time. Well, as I said, we'll have you back again in the studio to talk more about intervention funds into the sugar subsector. But thank you so much for your time. I've been having the conversation with
pleasure.
three gentlemen on Nigeria Industrial Revolution Plan, and we'll be looking at issues and developments in the industry. Dr. Abdul-Lateef Busari, the Chief Executive Officer, National Sugar Development Council, joined us from our Abuja studio. Here in Lagos, Adiola Elliott, Vice Chairman, Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the Agri Group, and Yakub Okonobi, the Chartered Accountant and Consultant, share their thoughts with us also on the program. And I thank all gentlemen for participating. But just before we go, news just in. The Nigeria Football Federation building in Abuja is currently on fire, and we have reports that firefighters are battling to put it out. The fire is reported to have started from the Secretary General of the Federation's office, Musa Ahmadu, and already the top floor of the building is gone. But we'll bring you more details as we get them. Of course, you know you can get more on the stories on our website, channelstv.com. But that's the program for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Harriet Agbinyi.